So Edge, what are you hoping to see in like the level 1 and level 2 shops for spells?
Uh, so I'm kind of hoping to see some of maybe the AOE instant death spells. Let's not have any level 1 nuke or fade. Let's go with something fun like Bane or Zap.
I'm hoping to see like something just like no spells at all, like maybe like a saber or something. All right, and we're off.
It's true. You can roll absolutely nothing in the first round, but it's very unlikely.
We have a level 1 nuke. That's kind of unfortunate. So, all right, everybody. We have a nice little level 1 spell. So both of our runners are gonna pick up nuke on the black mage and red mage respectively.
And this is one of the configurations where you might debate going red mage, black mage. With double nuke at the start, it's very powerful and can carry you through the whole game.
Yeah, that, and I think Ruse was also level 1, so that white magic was weak. Ruse was pretty good, in my opinion.
So the nice aspect of Ruse at level 1 is if it's in a night learnable spot, it can fill in for the defense sword in a pinch.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even with these flags, Chaos and any of the Fiends could still be a pretty powerful hitter. Doesn't matter if you're level 20 or 30, it could still knock you out.
Oh, comment in chat, Ruse was in slot 2, so nope, not today.
Oh, true.
Another question in chat, how did Falconic get his battle screen like that? There is the modern battlefield option, which is available in the randomizer, which cleans things up a little bit. And also, he's using different sprites, and that's perfectly workable. It's not built into the randomizer, but if you patch the ROM before, it'll work fine.
Yeah, it's a nice little refreshing thing to be able to use like Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3 sprites. And I actually personally myself like the renamed black belts. It gives them a nice new essence.
No false advertising. That's what they are for basically 200% and under.
Oh yeah. Just rename them to Time Sync. So Zarby lost his black mage in the midst of stun imps, so he was actually unable to kind of finish that encounter. But he ends up making it out and reviving the black mage, which is a good thing. Cheap soft potions and cheap heal potions are really nice.
Yeah, but no save items means it could be treacherous on the way up to Temple of Fiends, and it's not just the imps you have to watch out for.
It's generally the spiders.
Yeah, those jerks with their high ambush rate, not so fun.
Especially if they get something like Thunder, Blizzard, Blaze. Blaze spiders is the most terrifying. Oh, we have unrunnable bones. That's interesting. Demarine says arachnid nightmares. Yes, arachnid nightmares indeed.
Yeah, the arachnids can be pretty rough too, especially because they like to show up in 7 or 8 packs in Earth. So nothing like crack arachnids to ruin your day when you don't have any ruins.
Unrunnabones. my Run of Bones.
Yeah, Falconic is just going to punch his way through this group of bones, presumably to save nuke charges.
Which, that's not a bad idea. You definitely want to just be able to punch Garland in the face with a nuke. So we have a lot of money in the first few chests of the game, and a silver bracelet, which is really nice defense early on. It'll definitely block some damage from like ambush encounters like these wolves, for instance.
These wolves who keep missing the guy in front.
So we're gonna get the first look at what Garland has, if Garland has anything. Just kidding, we're not gonna get to see anything.
Ooh, 386, close to max.
All right, let's see if Zarby doesn't get to see anything either with a 372.
And gets another encounter right in front of the princess.
Oh, we have an early canoe. Woohoo! Canoe and a bottle. Sounds like a ship collector's dream.
Right. The old ship in a bottle, almost.
King felt the need to remove it from the bottle.
Alright, Ruse in slot 1, so yeah, that definitely could come into play. And I think, was that Harm in the vanilla Harm spot? Falconic picking up a couple of silver swords for his party, and I like that move. It's a little bit safer, but even though you open a lot of treasure chests before your first Fiend dungeon, sometimes you just get totally unlucky and don't find any swords.
Yeah. Fuchsia pointing out something. Yeah, no tents in the shops to help with the trip to Elfland, so if you get into something terrifying on the way to Dwarf Cave and Elfland, you're gonna find yourself respawning back in Canaria. And that's a significant time loss.
Alright, in the Dwarf Cave, Zarby finds the black shirt, so nice prize, and can actually throw that on the white mage to have them contribute in fights. So how many times are we going to see the credits? If there's something nasty up ahead, we'll see them a lot.
We're gonna play the game of what do ogres have today?
Looks like Zarby's going to take this fight, and yeah, there's Grey Wolves with Cremate.
He just
Down
lost
goes the Black Mage.
He just lost his nuke caster. Alright, well,
yeah, there we go.
Here's the first reset of the game. That's very unfortunate.
And if Falconic and Zarby are on the same step count, he might get that encounter shortly. Well, it depends. If he's on a river tile, he might dodge it.
He seems to be avoiding the river tiles.
Yeah, not much safer with 2 packs of Hydras.
No. Falconic got the lucky formation here with no Gerwolves. Let's see if it's almost there. The land is not safe.
The Gerwolf goes first again, knocks out both the mages.
What did you miss? You missed Gerwolves having Cremate, which seems to be Zarby's bane at the moment because he's getting ambushed by these Gerwolves and they're immediately cremating his team. Falconic made it to Elfland without seeing any Gerwolves, so that's very nice for him.
Randomizer gonna randomize.
We have all 3 of the fire spells in one shop.
So, specialty shop here, and we've got Heal 2 and Fog 2 in the Red Mage learnable spots, so double Fog 2 could be pretty nice. Wall, also an attractive option if you happen to come up short on ribbons.
We'll get our glimpse of the white magic level 4. Fade is learnable by the white mage, but not by the red. Slot 2 and slot 4 of white mage is completely unlearnable by red.
Got Ice 2 at level 4, and I might be tempted to pick that up, but Falconic's going to check the shops first.
The item shop is selling a mystical item that allows you to finish the game.
Yeah, pretty important item. But looks like I don't know. I might invest in cabins instead. As painful as that's going to be.
You could always come back here for sure. Very expensive houses though. Cheaper than vanilla, but still very expensive for this point of the game.
Yeah, stack at 10 and all of Falconic's money is gone. So he's ready to go over to the Crescent Lake area and maybe up to Provoca, but feels real bad spending almost 3k on cabins. Alright, Zarby is going to complete his shopping trip. Meanwhile, Falconic is going to book it over to Crescent Lake, taking the southern route, skipping over the river. And taking this route, it might be a little longer overall, but he's going to run into some encounters that he can take along the way. And surprised he's not using the black shirt in this fight. Considering that, there we go. Ogres are weak to ice. And once again, Dan refusing to go down. There we go. Giant punch. So with Nuke and Ice 2 available, it might be worth a shot to try and take one of these fights. We'll see how this turns out. Dude, Zarby is gonna make a play on Marsh Cave, so with early Canoe, he's gonna go for a little bit of an unorthodox play, but if anything required is sitting here, it's gonna be a very big lead for Zarby. Question in chat, what class was required? Black Belt was required, so we have some Dan strats going on Falconic's side. And looks like we've got Fast and Invis 2 being the highlights of the level 6 magic shop. Pretty expensive, so Falconic's going to have to come back for those, but doesn't feel too bad. And it feels real good now that the floater is in hand. Zarby finds an ice shield, pretty good gear. You pair that with the flame armor, and it's a good set of resistances for the mid to late game. Alright, so about 14 minutes in, Falconic is going to get his airship, and that makes things a lot quicker. So his first trip may be headed to the Provoca area to see what that required item is. Good move. I like this. You can pick up an incentive item and also see the level 2 magic. And we've got Cure 4. So right now, if Falconic finds the tail, he'll have the Knight being able to cast both Ruse and Cure 4, which should let a sufficiently powered Knight get through any fight solo in Temple of Fiends. And since the pirates are safe, he's just going to barrel ahead and go into this fight right now. So Falconic finding the floater in Crescent Lake and immediately taking the airship up to Provoca to get his slab. Zarby, Marsh Cave gamble is paying off in equipment, but not in progression.
Expensive gold bracelets and Provoca.
Yeah, pro rings are not cheap either, but the benefit of having both of those in the same location is you only need to make one trip.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, so the game decided to give them unrunnable shadows. So at least now they can't ambush you.
Alright, and up next on the Falconic World Tour, he's going to go to Melman, drop that slab off to get translated, and check out what's in the level 5 shop. So as far as the white magic goes, nothing too exciting. And for the black magic, we have Warp.
Is that vanilla Warp?
I'm not sure if it's vanilla, but I don't think it's learnable by the red mage. So life appears to have landed either level 7 or level 8, which feels a little rough.
Warp is usually slot 3. Okay, yeah. It was close.
Alright, Falconic makes it through Titan's Cave unscathed, only for a little bit of cash.
Sarda gave him the rod.
Not random enough.
Did we roll the right seed? Did we just give him the vanilla version of the game? Like, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, clearly we didn't roll the right seed. They have the floater at 14 minutes.
Yeah, good point.
And the free chest tour continues. And I like this move. It's very likely that, or almost certainly, the incentive locations hold all the items that you want, but you still need money and gold and equipment. And if you're still looking for a ribbon, you might as well crack open some easy-to-get-to chests.
So on Falconic's side, we have a Vorpal pickup in the Kardia Islands. I like to call it the throw it on the ground sword because, you know, you rely too much on crits. It's just not, you're not gonna have a good time.
Yeah, so the Vorpal is one of those weird weapons that it's actually it's better for the higher percentage seeds when enemies can roll ridiculous absorb. But for the Swiss round seeds, no enemy is going to have typically an absorb high enough where you're going to need the crits to punch through their defenses.
The sword on the tracker is the Vorpal.
So we have in the big treasure room the Power Glove and the Opal Bracelet. So both very, very nice pickups. Power Glove going straight onto the Knight.
Not much else of note in rest of that cave except for the first 2 chests. Still don't have a sight on a ribbon. Zarby did pick up a pro ring in Marsh Cave, though.
Yeah, it looks like he took a wipe. I remember the white mage being dead. And maybe he didn't take a wipe, but just reset and decided to go specifically for certain fights. Oh no, werewolves with toxic. Yeah, that might be a wipe.
Oh, yeah. Yikes.
That's no good. And I think Zarby didn't equip the pro ring, which would have protected him against toxic. But that's hard to know from a newer player's perspective because toxic is not a poison element, it's a death element spell.
So we get our first sight of the Peds. But with Nuke, it should just take them out pretty quickly. Question in chat, is Falco actually using the Vorpal? Falco won't be able to use the Vorpal unless he class changes. It's only equipable by Knight and Ninja, and the Red Wizard.
So yeah, level 8 dive into Volcano. Potentially risky, but he has lots of nuke charges to hand out, and also just can leave and come back if any of his party members die, and it won't be a tremendous time hit.
So Falco opting to not use his nuke charges and just use the black shirt. That's actually a good play since he doesn't have any houses currently. You definitely want to save those nuke charges, but he's been stunned long enough, so he's gonna burn a charge on that. And getting another ambush from Peds. While Zarby clears out the rest of Marsh Cave. Yeah, the stun group indeed. So Zarby getting disappointed with what he finds in Marsh Cave. He's gonna run back over to Elfland and take the canoe to Crescent Lake, hopefully picking up his floater so he can begin his world tour. Let's see. So we have Unrunnable Geists. That's actually going to be something kind of scary in Earth Cave, especially since they show up in 5-6 formations with Specters and an Ice Cave in the Trap Tile.
And, of course, once you run out of nuke charges, then you see nothing but Fiends.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Picking up a heal helmet, that'll be useful in the beginning. Especially when you're getting stunned to death by Argoyles.
Got a stun lock. It's always nasty when enemies with multiple hits get paralysis touch. I think at this point I might just take the reset.
Yeah, I mean, he's cleared out some of the chests, and he's gotten information on like what's in those chests, so he can just choose not to check those.
Yeah, if he knows that he's not going to be getting any progression on that side.
Oh, on Zarby's side, we had Cremate Caribs, which that's kind of scary.
Yeah. No, he's not gonna waste any time nukes down these gargoyles.
PTSD's hitting hard again.
I learned my lesson.
With that reset, though, he did lose 4 levels. But nothing he won't be able to make up, especially with, you know, a dungeon full of peds. So far, nothing interesting in the Volcano treasury.
Looks like he's gonna try to go after this Grey Worm, and I don't know, I don't think they have that good of experience to make this fight worth it.
Generally, the Grey Worms roll a ton of HP for no reason. Alright, Zarby making it to Crescent Lake. He's going to pick up his floater. Question in chat, why are the two layouts so different? The way we have our layout set up is to incorporate which dungeon they're in. So Falconic's in Volcano, his background is the Volcano tiles.
Unless we're talking about the battle layout, in which case Falconic is using the modern battlefield option, and because the graphical change doesn't affect the seed at all, players are free to choose whether or not they want to use that.
So Treasure actually had some nice little work there. It had an ice armor. We had the mystical ruby.
Yeah, Volcano is not playing nice.
These Argoyles are not playing nice, for sure. Still no charges for Fade, though.
Kingdom for a Fade charge, and Falconic is about to learn, or not, that yeah, this is just very, very rough luck, getting stun locked twice, and kind of the danger going with the 3-man party, but usually you don't end up with as nasty of a formation as this.
That formation's going to be especially terrifying if they have to dive ordeals. Especially when you start seeing 6 to 7 Argoyles.
You know, game, there are other enemies in the Volcano.
What's that? 50 Argoyle encounters in a row? Okay.
And again, this is one of the advantages if you decided to run a say a black mage, red mage focused party, is having 2 casts of nuke gives you a higher chance of getting out of a situation like this.
Yeah, definitely. So we get to hear the lovely jingle of him picking up the ruby a second time. And he's deciding that he doesn't even want to check these chests anymore. He's just going to run out of here and save it. which I don't blame him. After 2 resets on Argoyles, 3 resets maybe. Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah, and he's gonna go back to Crescent Lake to get some charges back, and I don't know. I don't think he has enough for a fade charge yet. But he certainly can invest in some real estate. Picks up a couple of houses on the way out. And probably would like to top off the heal potions, but they're not for sale in Crescent Lake this time around.
Definitely not a fun run when heals are not for sale in Crescent. He's gonna go pick up his loot from Elfland. Not a bad play. Tend to forget those things if you don't go there for a while.
Oh yeah. At least in my experience, you have to do these things when you remember them.
Confused old man forgets key items.
Confused old man goes to check ordeals without canoe.
He didn't pick up Quake. I'm disappointed.
No instant death meme dream today.
Where's Split Punch at? He'd be appalled.
Yeah.
No.
You gotta Quake Lich at least once.
Everybody loves the Quack Lich. Oh, we have a POP grind coming.
This is potentially interesting. I guess he feels like he would have a safer time finishing off Volcano if he had a few more levels. And of course it comes right when you hit the longest run in the game.
Oh, look, everybody. We have vanilla unrunnable zombies. How random. So while he picks up his nice experience for doing a pop grind, Zarby's going to go check all his Kardia Island chests, which is a very good play. Free chests in the game is always very nice to do.
So it seems like with no access to warp or exit, both of the runners are avoiding Ice Cave and Ordeals and Waterfall. And at a certain point, I think with level 7 or 8 warp that you just have to bite the bullet and try to do those dungeons.
I'm not sure what a BB is either. I just know them as trash. Don't do it, Alright, Falconic. You're still a pal in my book.
Good guy, Falconic.
All Tyro lives matter. Some very tanky giants.
Well, I mean, I should hope they live up to their name. So yeah, level 11 all around, and yeah, looks like the fade charges will be plentiful for the white mage, and that's going to make a huge difference. Alright, lead off high five from the Thyro.
He gave him the good luck bump to finish the run. It's better than him chewing on your leg. So Falcana gets to level 12, opting to continue the grind on POP. I guess he's looking for more charges before he dives a dungeon.
Can't say I blame him, although I would be tempted to take what I've got here and maybe go to a dungeon where I can execute a little bit of a grind there as well. Either finish Volcano or go through Ice Cave and fight the Eye. To be honest, though, I'm not a big fan of grinding as a strategy in this round, especially when you have access to Nuke. But at the same time, with only one spellcaster having access to Nuke, I can kind of understand why Falconic's making this play.
So while Zarby's going over to Earth Cave, and he's going to check the chest there, Falconic's going to continue to continuously shake his screen like he's trying to strangle somebody.
So Falconic's still rolling with the black shirt on the white mage, even though she has fade charges now.
Just back and forth, enough to make your eyes bounce back and forth like a game of Pong. A sped up version of a game of Pong. Earth elementals are runnable this seed, which is always a nice thing.
And Zarby's going to continue his dive.
I could potentially see an Agama grind happening this seed by at least one of the runners. I don't see an eye grind happening, especially because neither of their mages can learn warp. Or I think Zarby can learn warp, but Falconic can't. Not until he's at least a wizard.
I think if they had warp that they would probably skip out on a grind, but since they have to go the long way through and drop down anyway, that it might make sense to get a couple of levels on the way through. I guess unless Falconic feels like he wants to get to level 7 and level 8 charges and then pick up warp, I don't think that justifies the amount of time that you spend in a grind, though. Especially because, in the case of warp, Falconic's going to need to pick the tail up anyway.
We have a Gerwolf sighting in Earth Cave with werewolves as well.
Yeah, and Zarby knowing what werewolves have makes this decision to go into Earth Cave even more curious. I guess he's just checking the chests to see if there's anything good.
It could also be possible because he found the rod and he wants to knock this dungeon out early.
And, ooh. Only one getting knocked out is the black belt. Ooh, mage staff. Oh, you're not gonna get that up. I guess Warp was learnable by the Black Mage, so that's an advantage for Zarby.
I believe it was slot 2, so that's definitely yeah, it's learnable by the Black Mage, but not the Red Mage. Alright, Falco's deciding that his grind is completely done. He's gonna fly away, never look back. Let's see where he goes first. He's gonna go to Melman's. I think. What was that?
I don't know.
Rip headphone users. Yeah, what face indeed?
Quite possible. Oh, I think I know. It might have been the alerts for one of our streamers. So Zarby is going to dive an incentive location. He's going to go to the Waterfall and see what the robot's hiding. And if he has a warp charge, this is certainly doable. I don't think he has enough nuke charges to make it all the way. Excuse me, all the way back out. If the oh god, this might be a reset already.
So we found out that it was Falconix alerts, so Fiesel has now swapped over to Zarby's audio. We'll have to let him know for next time to completely remove Streamlabs from your OBS.
Yeah, Zarby having no luck and we're just getting blendered by enemies, and it's a function of how low of a level he is. If he certainly has the ability, spell charge wise, to take out any of these enemy groups, but they're going first and just wiping his party out. And of course, Gators with sleep not really helping either.
I think he keeps resetting. He doesn't have any cabins or tents to save, and I don't think he has any money to buy any. And that Nacho is just not feeling being stuck in a bowl of salsa and eaten today. So we're getting our first look at ordeals. Hope the PTSD doesn't kick in to where he runs into packs and packs of Argoyles.
Alright, pile of levels for Zarby, and he should be able to, yeah, that's a giant pile of money. He can definitely buy some cabins and houses here.
The border change isn't automatic. It's our tracker that's taking care of that. Which, be sure to follow our tracker. Oh wait, is it that one? Yeah, so tracking is, he's Woat. He's a great guy. So be sure to give him a follow. And also follow our runners. They're giving us a nice little show. We have an incentive crown in Ordeal, so Ordeals is 100% required to seed.
Due to the way the flag set works, the crown is always going to lead to the Mystic Key.
Zarby opting to reset out of the Bill Cosby Gators. And he's going to make his dive in the Waterfall. Step table's being actually really nice right now. Has not seen an encounter since he walked in. Must be the 128 walk.
Question in chat: what does the Mystic Key unlock? It unlocks the treasure troves in Elfland, Coneria, Temple of Fiends, Northwest Castle, and Dwarf Cave. Also, one treasure chest in Sea Shrine, and allows you to finish the game since the door immediately after Phantom in Temple of Fiends Revisited is also locked.
Was that the cockatrice that had glare? Or was that a mummy?
Either way, this is going to be real bad. Unless this nuke goes off.
Whiz mummies with Invis too. That's
Maximum time waste.
Oh, nuke not wiping out the whiz mummies. That's kind of scary. A lot of HP on them.
Yeah, second one should take care of it though. And hilariously, this is the only. Oh my god, this black mage is gonna get so many 4 levels.
Well, he has warp to get out of there.
Yeah, he's got warp, but it feels real bad when the experience lands not where you want it to be.
Oh, he does not have any warp charges.
Oh no! Oh, he's got warp. He doesn't even have them now. Alright.
It's right, level 5. He needs to be level 12 to get warped. Shady drug deal going on Falco's screen. Giving a crystal for some herb. Won't tell you what kind of herb. Just know it's enough to wake somebody up.
Zarby throws out another nuke, and I would be tempted to go with Double Fire 3, just in case I run into something that can't get killed with fire on the way out. Oh! Wow, barely survives that crit. Crits are particularly nasty in this game because they ignore defense, so it's a lot of damage.
Ooh, an ambush from this nightmare encounter is pretty scary.
These guys can have pretty high HP too, but fortunately that nuke roll was good.
Unfortunately, he is out of nuke charges. Falconic picking up a tremendous amount of money here.
And yeah, he's going to continue the free chest train. And these mud goals hit pretty hard too, so this might be the end of the road here.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He had such a nice little run all the way until, the mud golems.
Yeah, he had a great run on the way in. Like if that encounter table was in reverse, he would have been fine. But that's rando for you.
So Falconic picked up another ice sword in the Dwarf Cave treasury. Still no sight of a ribbon though. That's actually pretty worrying. That means the ribbons may fall into all the dungeons. The essence of Bill Cosby is moving on in these gators. Slept.
So there are a certain amount of greed chests that you can check. on the way through the dungeons. There's typically 5 in Sea Shrine that you can pick up, and making dips for Mirage Tower and some of the chests in Sky don't take that much time, but it always feels bad when you are able to go mode a dungeon by progression, but not by equipment.
Falconic picks up a white shirt in Cronaria Treasure. That'll be very handy for Temple of Fiends Revisited. The evasion stat is pretty broken in this game. It's where like 3 or 4 casts of Invis or Invis 2 will make you practically unhittable unless it's a crit.
And so the nice thing about Invis 2 is, and especially the white shirt, is since it's on an item, that black belt that you danned, if you have some extra life charges, might be able to contribute by just throwing the white shirt around during a battle. Only problem is, have yet to see life, and it looks like it's in a level 7 or level 8 slot, so there won't be that many charges to play around with.
Well, we know the ribbons are somewheres in the world, so they're definitely in the game. If you wanted a commentator's curse, I would have to say the 3 keylock chests in Marsh Cave are all ribbons. Alright, Falconic's gonna make a dive into Ice Cave and go pick up his tail.
Zarby runs away from a pack of Soria, and a 2-pack of those is worth quite a bit of experience, and definitely worth nuking down as you go. And I think that's one of the things that newer runners are at a disadvantage with versus experienced runners, is just knowing which encounters to take along the way that are experience efficient and which ones aren't. It's not immediately apparent, and Soria being kind of that middle ground in between Iguana and Agama, you're not expecting the experience gain to be that big of a jump, but it is.
It's definitely noticeable from the time it takes to down a pack of, a popcorn pack of 9 versus like 1 Eye or 1 Agama. That's why, most of our runners choose to grind on those trap tiles. Everything in this seed has cremate. Did it roll onto the Medusa script?
It might have.
I think we've seen cremate at least 3 times now. Gerwolves, Caribs, and Wizards now.
Yeah, although I think there are a couple of cremates in the pool, though. So, can't be entirely sure, but Falconic, with his level grind, doesn't fear cremate nearly as much as he did. Zarby's going to pick up his chime. And maybe we'll get a look at what's in the level 8 magic shop. Nope. He's just getting out of town.
Choosing not to save, though. Because he plans on taking any encounter. Fire 3 making pretty quick work of these zombies. And finishing them off with Harm 4.
So Zarby's finally getting some levels as well, and we'll see what he does in this fight. Yeah.
All right, Zarby's the man.
All right.
Definitely gonna have to make that a point to let both of the runners know that they are both welcome to the Tyro Lives Matter Club.
Got a good, clean fight today.
There will be no prehistoric meat eating today. Zarby flying around. Looks like he's going into Mirage Tower, but he doesn't have the cube.
Yikes, Frost Dragons with Glare. And Wizards with Stop. So I would rather see the cremate.
Question in chat, how bad are Tyros? Tyros aren't bad at all. They just want a hug, but they all seem to be at the end of a blade, which is not okay.
Yeah, Tyros are nice. Look at that face.
It's a cute, lovable face. All right, we have a sighting of our first ribbon. Mirage Tower, first floor.
Yeah, good equipment check by Zarby, and again, Mirage Tower is one of those places that you can check the first floor pretty quickly.
This seems to be the legendary files check. You're finding a ribbon without having the cube on the first floor Mirage. Yeah, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Zarby seems to be short just a little bit of a warp charge. If he had a warp charge, the second floor check wouldn't be a bad idea either. Oh, come on, man! Talk to the robot. It's been so long.
An ambush from Catman. That's a scary encounter, to say in the least.
Ooh, not healing up the white mage, and looks like he's not going to pay for that.
Generally, when the meal is bad and you complain enough, you don't actually have to pay for it. Zarby's definitely playing a lot more, ballsy than any of our other runners with his decisions not to save after checking a variety of chests. What about T-Rexes? T-Rexes, those are just blue stakes. We have a second ribbon sighting in Ice Cave. Oh, never mind. 2 ribbons in Ice Cave.
So yeah, I mean, Tyros are good folks, but I don't see how you can turn down a Pittsburgh rare steak, especially with all that experience.
You know how you can turn it down, Edge? You just say no. We don't eat our friends.
That's what I mean. Tyros are friends. T-Rexes are imposters.
It's a silly brother. So we now have the location of all 3 of the ribbons in the game. 2 of them are next to each other in the Ice Cave, which is definitely going to help Falconic not have to reset against these wizards with Stop.
Yeah, unfortunately, Wizard's pretty resistant against any element that's not lightning. So, well, any of the basic elements, I should say. You can still get them with a lot of the instant death spells.
So it's looking like these wizards have Stop, Slow, Blizzard, Cremate. Goodness.
Yeah, this is a little ugly, and now Falconic is down to just the fighter.
There's
Hey.
there's the ship
Yeah, we got it.
and the bridge. What's next? The canal? Let's go. Falco does not have Fade because it was in the 4th slot of the level 4 magic shop.
So now here's an interesting decision for Falconic. Everyone's already dead. Do you take a couple of minutes just to do an eye grind? Looks like he's booking it, but I might be tempted.
Yeah, I definitely would have picked up some levels there just to ensure safety out of this cave, because this cave is pretty gruesome.
I think Falconic's being careful to have the fighter at max HP all the time, but he is just not having any luck running away from these guys, and he's not doing any damage either.
So Zarby has gained some levels, and now he wants to go back and grab that cube from the robot.
So if he's got a warp charge in tow, this should be a pretty easy trip. And of course, what do you not want to see on the way out? Here it is.
Oh, you wanted to avoid this encounter? Where? Yeah, that's definitely a good point, Fuchsia. I think I would say that he'd go back and pick it up just because, it's definitely, something you want to pick up for your red mage or red wizard.
So Falconic knows that Blizzard is coming pretty soon, and those are going to do a good chunk of damage even through the elemental resistance. So he's throwing out a bunch of black shirt charges in the hopes that he just does enough damage to thin this group out.
This is definitely a scary encounter. I don't know, he's took out 3 of them.
Yeah, one more will do it, and it's a decision that feels bad to make, but at the same time, if you have a path that is slow but guarantees success, and you're in a situation like this, a lot of times it's better off to take it. Another example will be if you are a solo knight and you run into the Vampire Wiz Vampire group, and you've got the defense sword on the way through Temple of Fiends. That's a good time to just pop 3 defenses and then run, because if you fail to run away from that group, you're dead.
Alright, so Falconic makes it out with his pretty ribbons and his stinky tail. See if he opts to go clash change first before tackling dungeons.
And I think that's the right move, just to get more spell charges on the knight. Especially with Cure 4 available to the knight, if he so chooses.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna go do that clash change before moving on to a dungeon. That, and I believe he picked up some opal equipment as well, so he's gonna make his knight tankier So Zarby's doing the Whizmummy Wizard Cocktree's Perilous Trap Tile grind to get some levels after being kind of brutally assaulted all seed. He's finally getting some EXP to level his party. And he's deciding to take the experience and run, which that's a good call in my opinion. Falconic's gonna go pick up Warp. Good call, good call. Let's see if he remembers to go pick up Fade.
So Falconic is going to save a little bit of time, having not done Waterfall yet. And I mean, we know how nasty some of the groups are in there.
And it looks like he's gonna go mode these dungeons. He feels like his equipment's good enough to continue and just run through without checking chests. He may check some of the majority of like the large treasuries, but I feel like he's gonna kind of like run away. He's opting not to put that Vorpal sword on his knight though.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a mistake here. The Ice Sword is pretty good, and he's probably not going to notice the damage drop off for the first couple Fiends he fights. But after that, when he starts running into enemies with higher absorb, that's where the Vorpal really shines.
He's now finding out that werewolves now possess Toxic. Something he never got to experience because he never went into the Marsh Cave. Opting to check a chest with a trap tile. Questionable, but we'll see. And he's rewarded with a small amount of money. They paid him for the door repairs. Those Onkelos just were not having anybody visit the desert today.
Still nobody visiting the level 7 shops. Come on, guys. I want to know where life is.
It landed in a different seed.
Yeah, life is for sale in the item shop in Baron.
It was stuck in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I mean, if we can mash up Super Metroid and Link to the Past, why can't we mash up FF1 and FF4?
That'd be a scary thing. Just walk into a cave and suddenly you're in, like, the Tower of Giants.
That's right. The first orb for Earth is guarded by Golnez.
Zarby choosing to check the treasury. Suddenly, Brinstar music. Dragon Armor is a very nice pickup on the second floor, and Defense Sword. Those are two really good. So if he decides to go to Ice Cave, that'll be really, really good for his knight that Falconic may not pick up since he's already in go mode. The Dragon Armor being the best armor in the game for the knight, with fire, ice, and electric, or lit as you call it, element resistance. Partnering that with the Aegis Shield, you just become an unstoppable tank, unless you're hit with time magic.
So Zarby electing to do the Sky Castle right now, and we'll see how many levels he ends up coming out of here with. You typically can get quite a lot in the way of levels just running through this dungeon naturally.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, this is one of the dungeons that you should definitely, like, take all the encounters you possibly run into, because everything in this dungeon is, like, worth a ton of XP.
Yeah, there are a lot of groups that it certainly pays to fight. Like, this 4 Mana Core group isn't bad, the Eyes aren't bad, the Rockles aren't bad.
But these Mana Cores are bad.
Yeah, I mean, vanilla, they usually poison you, but these guys are defending themselves somehow.
He still poisoned them. He poisoned them with petrification.
And looks like Zarby's going to leave him petrified, which is probably good as far as the experience distribution goes. Falconic in the Lich fight decides to nuke him before he can get nuked, and it's a pretty good strategy.
Let's see if it pays off. I think he's choosing to leave that black belt stoned because he doesn't have any soft potions. That could also be a reason why. So I'm not sure if Falconic realizes that he doesn't have the Oxyale.
Yeah, I think he used the bottle, and he might just be checking to see what's in Waterfall. It's a lot more efficient if you can route these two in together, but that may just not be a concern right now.
Falconic's not going to have such a bad time because of the 2 ribbons he picked up in Ice Cave. Zarby only having 1 ribbon. There was actually 0 ribbons the first time he went through. That was a different story for him. So we haven't had our sighting on Nuke yet, which is kind of disappointing, really. Maybe it'll fall on the water encounter. What do you think, Edge? What do you think's gonna have Nuke?
Kraken 2.
Kraken 2 with his 8 tentacles of death. Alright, everybody. Warmach, bless RNGs. We got Warmach Bridge coming up.
Yep, and so far, first fight for fire hydrants.
For more fire hydrants.
Alright, Falconic picks up his cube. And Zarby is very, very tempted by this stale nacho here. And looks like he wants to save some nuke charges for the Tiamat fight. Probably a good idea, considering he's going to need to run a bunch of Power Glove charges to get through his absorb, or her absorb, rather.
Especially only having a flame sword as his weapon. Alright, so we have our first look at Tiamat. Very, very rough hit for the first one.
Yeah, time for the Power Glove train.
Thunder is not a nice thing to see either.
Oh no, but the White Mage barely surviving here. Alright, that's a doable hit, but yikes, that's a rough shot in response. And last nuke charge for the Black Mage, so...
Not sure how I feel about Tiamat, dispensing his ink, or her ink all over the place.
Alright, one Fade charge left, so the big shot right here.
And he takes him down! Not a bad fight.
Yeah, good plan by Zarby to save that nuke charge versus the nacho, and it pays off. Now it looks like Falconic's gonna head back to the Volcano, and it's time to take care of business. And immediately runs into the Gargoyles and gets paralyzed, so the more things change, the more things stay the same.
At some point you just have to think, didn't this happen to me before?
It's deja vu all over again.
So Zarby flying by Earth Cave, remembering all the pain and agony he suffered in Earth Cave, decided to just continue flying past it. And remembering to go pick up some soft potions.
Yeah, Zarby's had just about enough of that cave. Not today. Falconic's still cracking open treasure chests, so we have yet to see the Masmian or the Adamant, so still some good stuff that we could find.
Temper, I believe, Temper was found, was it? Or am I mistaken?
Was it level 6? If I remember correctly, it was in a slot that they had to go back for.
So Zarby actually opting to do the two of the hardest dungeons first.
Not necessarily a bad play, especially if you come out of those dungeons with your endgame levels or close to it. You can definitely take advantage of the morale of some of the weaker enemies and get some runs to save a little bit of time.
Still needs to gain some levels, though, because Temple of Fiends Revisited is not going to be a good time.
And, well, we found Thunder. It's on the Agamas.
Ugh.
Followed up with Dazzle, and that's it. So Falconic, getting ready. We'll see if he checks the Red Dragon chest. Yeah, so he's gonna fight the Agama, the Red D, and then move on to. Oof. Agamas with Thunder and a high ambush rate feels real bad, and that would have been very punishing for anyone doing the Volcano early.
Yeah, absolutely. Has the seed been this bad? Yes and no. Pretty bad skill placement on enemies that caused them to, reset quite a few times.
Good use of Warp by Falconic, so he doesn't have to fight the Agama again on the way out.
And it's everybody's favorite friends in the Sea Shrine. Say hello to the Wiz Sahag, our Sahags.
Yep, even though the unrunnables are shuffled, this one is always going to be unrunnable because it is the back half of the formation to the pirate fight.
Everybody thank Nasser for that. Still to me doesn't make any sense why the back half of that formation is the pirates.
Just gotta save space wherever. Nobody's gonna notice this. Just like nobody's gonna notice that every single door in Temple of Fiends with the lower parts are locked with the Mystic Key.
But you never know that because you get the key about 30 minutes into the game. So we have a ninja's wet dream at the Sea Shrine. We had double katanas in the same room, so if you're a man and you want to dual wield katanas, that's your chance.
Yeah, so very clearly that is where a ninja drowned. He was probably training under a waterfall and something awful happened.
And then some innocent person just walked by and was just like, these are two nice-looking katanas. I'm gonna stuff these in a chest. Good guy Samaritan. So now that waters are not unrunnable anymore, now they're ambushed.
And yeah, they hit like a truck too. And that's going to be a lot of heal potions.
It's like we expressed in the beginning of the seed. Don't play in traffic, people. Trucks are dangerous.
Hey, cremate!
That's the fourth cremate.
Wow, Black Belt lives with 1 health. This is, with only 1 ribbon, this is, kinda ugly for Zarby. Alright, it's Kraken time.
Let's see how he handles it.
Well, Kraken leads it off with fire, which is probably as good as it gets.
I think I've seen this in an episode of Futurama before.
And the Black Belt has the Zeus Gauntlet, so he can actually contribute a little bit to the fight. And, oh, puts the fighter to sleep. No actions today.
Oh,
Good night. Oof. Well, that's all the power gauntlets you're gonna get. Black Belt punches for 1 damage. Yeah, this is this could be dicey. Probably the best option would be Kraken punching out the Black Belt.
oh, 45 damage terminated.
Oh, and Zarby runs right for the exit. Fortunate that those are not free tiles in that room, so he could have gotten an encounter on the way out there. And there's a bunch of cremate lobsters that would just love to have another meeting with him.
So Zarby lights his second orb, clearing out the 2 hardest dungeons, in my opinion. He still hasn't picked up the crown, which that we know is an ordeal, so he's going to have to make a trip out there. And he still needs to go buy the loot from Elfland.
He also needs to go pick up a bunch of pro ranks, because if he's going to do Earth, those toxic werewolves are going to ruin his day. Alright, Dragon Armor for Falconic is on the 2nd floor, and he just dumps the Opal Armor aside. I don't need this anymore.
So that means he's going to pick up his defense sword, too.
Yeah, so lots of good stuff here, and with the defense sword in hand and the power gauntlet, you feel pretty good about your chances in a one-on-one fight.
I'm wondering if he's actually going to equip that. Okay.
Yeah, so I think he's going to go with the defense sword versus regular enemies, and then switch over to the Vorpal for bosses, which is a pretty good strategy.
So Zarby's going to make his dive into the Earth Cave, praying that he does not see the toxic wolves again that have taken him down a few times. It's not a pleasant sight. Falconic's going to go take a look at the Blue Dragon. Blue Dragon doesn't seem like he rolled high attack, only hitting a red wizard for 50-ish. With 3 ribbons in hand and a defense sword, yeah, I don't blame Falconic for just continuing to walk past these chests, because that's probably the best idea, honestly. It looks to me like he's now like in full go mode here. Oh, and then Zarby running into those toxic wolves again. Yes, Falco has the 3 ribbons. He got the 1 in Mirage Tower, and he got the 2 in Ice Cave. Those wolves seem to be out for Zarby's blood today. The ambush rate just seems to be out for Zarby today, honestly. Falconic gonna nuke down the Man-Cat's Medusa encounter, which is gonna net him a good bit of experience, because that's actually a nice formation to take down. Yeah, it seems Zarby has found every enemy in the game that has Cremate so far. I think Cremate has wiped his party quite a few times on every formation that's had it. Taking down the vampire. Falco's on the Bridge of Destiny. So let's get some Bless RNGs out for Warmach. See if we'll get a nice, beautiful Warmach sighting today. We give him a high 5. Hopefully he's unrunnable. And there he is! I never said anything, I promise.
Yeah, we found the nuclear.
I never said anything, I promise.
That's 1 down.
Warmach, our Lord and Savior.
Falconic with the full set of ribbons, feeling pretty good equipment-wise. I mean, sure, you can use an Excalibur or an Adamant, but...
Who needs those? When you have unrunnable nachos. But yeah, weapon-wise, he has the power bunk. He has the white shirt, 3 ribbons. He's in a good spot.
Yeah, put Vorpal together with Power Gauntlet, and you're in pretty good shape.
So Falconic on Tiamat. He's just hoping to get inked, but he instead gets punched in the face. 62 damage from his knight. Ooh. It's Nacho Bridge. Nacho Bridge. It's the Warmach Bridge. So Falconic lights his 3rd orb. Zarby is on a beeline straight to lighting his 3rd orb. Not sure how I feel about both of the runners just immediately running straight into on-rack and not saving it. It's kind of a scary play there, especially if you have to, like, you know, reset.
Yeah, I mean, I always am. There's temper at level 7. I'm always in favor of saving wherever you can. Ooh, exit at level 7 as well. Mostly because any enemy in the game has the capacity to wipe you out, and just saving and having the ability to save anywhere is pretty effective risk mitigation. So if you're not taking advantage of that, it will come back and bite you eventually.
Tear, you just gotta run. You just gotta fight things and complete the game. Zarby goes and remembers to pick up his loot. Now he has a choice of whether or not he should go and do Ice Cave or if he should go and do Ordeals. We're hoping he does Ordeals first, but that's because we have the knowledge of where the crown is. He's opting to go and light his 4th orb though, which is not a bad play, but still have no sighting of the crown. So
hopefully he knows that the key is required. I mean, he'll find out shortly.
That's always a feels bad man feeling when you run up to the door and you just immediately stop. Maybe he thinks he can use one of the katanas he found to pick the lock. Oh, he's finding out that Agamas have thunder, and oh, that is an awful wipe to have.
Yeah, with only one ribbon, they just cut down Zarby's entire party.
Yeah, I think the way that these flags are set up is that the tail, crown, floater, and all that can't be in random chests. So like your major progression items can't be in random chests. I think that's the way that these flags are set up. So knowledge of that would actually help you out.
Alright, nothing today in the greed chests in the Sea Shrine, so Volcano's gonna come up empty-handed, and yeah, he's booking it to his last Fiend. And the hero run starts at a pretty good time.
We'll see today if Falconic gets Dr. Zoidbirded by Kraken with the Fire 2. Zarby just looking into that room in disgust and just decides to leave. opting to move that the white wizard into the front row to reduce the chances of his knight getting attacked.
Congratulations on your promotion. Thud.
Aw, that's a nice little cute hat you got on there. It'd be a shame if it was dirtied by the ground. Zarby chooses to check the bottom chest in the Agama room, remembers what Agamas have, and decides to say no thanks to the top chest.
Yeah, you can't do it with, and it's presumably that they got the shadow ambush rate, because I have not seen him have an equal fight. Either runner have an equal fight with the Agama.
And Falconic lights his fourth orb. That's going to give him access to Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Alright, he's just got to pick up the white mage off the ground, and we'll be in good shape. And Dan is going to be forever Dan. I would be very tempted to pick Dan up just for a run through the Temple of Fiends, because if he gets hit and killed, that's 3 less heal potions that you have to use.
So it makes you wonder where the Masmune was. Zarby lights his fourth orb as well, so...
Could always be in the vanilla spot. And looks like Falconic's going to do a little bit of pressure check.
Oh no.
Yep, Zarby does not realize, well, he will be the first to make it into Temple of Fiends Revisited. He will also be the first to leave it.
Oh no. It's to me, this is like, it crushes your dreams as a runner. It crushes your dreams.
Good experience on this fight, but Zarby's gonna keep trucking along. And to be honest, he is at a low enough level where picking up 2 or 3 levels running through here wouldn't be a bad idea. But I think he's just trying to go for the home run, and he's going to be stopped just short on the next floor.
It just makes you wonder, how bad are those men?
Those are some bad men.
Alright, so Phantom's not required this seed.
Question in chat, is that seed specific? No, even in vanilla, the door to this door right here is locked with a mystic key. And yeah, I think Zarby immediately realized it. Didn't even talk to the door.
Feels bad, men.
Yeah, it is. It is one of those things that every runner will get caught by.
Well, he made the right choice. He's going over to Ordeals. He's just taking the very scenic route. Don't do it, Zarby. Don't do it, Zarby.
Alright. Good guy, Zarby.
Another life saved.
You can take the wings, but leave the stake.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Dona, because we had another race yesterday where a runner forgot to check Circle of Sages and was loot blocked for an hour and 50 minutes.
Ah, yes, the best music in the game.
The same music on a 2-second loop.
Alright, meanwhile, we've got the Frost Dragons, and they seem to be pretty nasty and somewhat difficult to get away from.
I think at that point you kind of want them to use fire instead of like physical attacking.
That certainly would save you on heal potions.
It's like, do I want to take 5 damage or do I want to get physical for 70? Thinking emoji. So one major concern for Zarby is that he's going to go in a tier with a solo ribbon because he's going to opt out of checking Ice Cave.
So Zarby does have the excuse me, he does have the wall spell, so he can set up. Oh! Is that a vanilla Lich 1 nuke?
That's not very nice, Lich.
Well, it's only fair. That's how they got rid of him at the beginning. He's just returning the favor with the nuke, and it seems like he rolled a lot of HP as well, so if he might be difficult to take down in one turn.
So after he nukes his party, he sprays ink all over him. That's just that's Zoidberg defense there.
So Lich has rolled quite a lot of HP, more than typically what we've seen. Falconic has done about 600 damage so far.
I think with these flags, the max that he could roll would be 750.
Yeah, and so that's the 750 mark right there. Hits him for 272, and onto the carry floor.
Just throwing some shade with that ink. Applied some lotion to that burn. Alright, we got our first look at carry 2.
Carry thrown out the Inferno as the first spell, and that's gonna hurt Zarby a lot more than it is Falconic with his 3 ribbons.
He's doing a pretty good job of keeping his health up for his party. Making use of that heal staff, so he doesn't have to burn all his potions there. Alright, Zarby's gonna go turn in his crown. Get his key. Falconic's getting first idea of what the waterfall looks like.
And as appropriate, there's water on the water floor.
Oh, who spilled this here?
It was probably the ninja that died.
He got hit so hard by Kraken that his katanas flew all the way to a different dungeon.
They flew back 2,000 years in the past.
Wouldn't that technically mean that they flew 2,000 years into the future? Because he's already in the past.
It's a time loop. If you go forwards or backwards, eventually you show up at the same spot, right?
Darn you, Chaos, and your weird time loops.
Alright, well, Kraken didn't have a nuke. That's a nice 3. And that is certainly a start to the fight that you'll take.
Oh, ow.
That hurts. Alright. Is the fog gonna be enough to save the life of whoever Kraken hits next? We'll see.
The knight, yes. The white mage, it's questionable.
Well, as long as the Lit 2 train keeps rolling on. Zarby taking the grand tour of Elfland Castle. Is he? Yeah, he's gonna grab those chests. Nope.
Oh, ouch.
And yeah, that would have roughed up pretty much anyone. So solo fighter time, and this is when you are pretty happy to have both the defense sword and the power gauntlet.
But not happy to see an ambush by Waters.
I don't think you're ever happy to see that. Unless there's another group that's just that much worse that you don't want to see. Question?
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, question in chat, does FF1 Rando fix all the old bugs, glitches from the NES version? Yes. So Temper and Saber work. Magic Strength and Magic Defense works properly. And I think Turn Order is semi-fixed, and I think now with the new updates, the Black Belt Absorb bug is also fixed as well. I do also want to say, Miat, you missed out on some pretty nasty Rurus in the beginning. We had Gerwolves with Cremate, Werewolves with Toxic. Definitely had a fun time. Oh no, Falconic. Oh, and then Tiamat finishes off the fight with a nuke.
So, yeah, there's the nuke. So we've seen a nuclear, and we've seen a nuke, and this is going to be a pretty rough Temple of Fiends. But Falconic has the items to get it done. When you're running against an enemy that has powerful spells like that, your best option is to just have your fighter set up for a long fight. Although, I definitely think Cure 4 on the Knight would help a lot.
Yes, so the two runners now are essentially at the same place. Zarby just lacking 2 of the ribbons that were both in Ice Cave, which down the line may give him problems, but still the game is still completable. So Zarby kicking through that door angrily, because last time it wouldn't open for him. We have unrunnable gas dragons. You know, not like this is randomized or something.
And certainly not a bad encounter to get experience-wise. And level
Looks like
24 will let the knight get an extra swing in.
it looks like he's actually opting in to level up off these gas dragons.
So that'll certainly help the mages survive a nuke, but and I believe neither runner has access to life, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Neither one of them picked up life.
Yeah, this may come down to a solo fighter hero effort, no matter how you slice it.
Question in chat, is there a reason that Dan is dead? Some runners choose to kill off one of the party members, so XP becomes a lot easier to acquire for a 3-man party. And especially with these flags, 3-man party has been a big favor. Because it's easier to level that way with 3-man. So generally you kill off one of your heroes early and you just take encounters throughout the run, and by the time you make it to TOFR you're probably about 23, 24, depending on how nasty your encounter table was. Yes, XP is split between party members.
Yeah, this is a pretty low level for Zarby, and I don't know if he has the defense sword or not. I believe he does.
He does.
And yeah, he's going to have to rely on that strategy as well. Looks like he's not going to take any chances with this Lich fight, and that's, as we know, that's pretty good.
With what we've seen, and then being in the 2 hour nearing the 2 hour mark, and your opponent not finishing, you have to feel like something's gross in 2FR or you're behind.
Question in chat: what's the world record for FF1? It depends on the context. There's a lot of. Oh God, Agamas have Brack as well. Jeez. But if we're talking about the randomizer, I think in an SRL race, Miat got a 115, and that's the fastest that I can remember.
But if you're looking for world record for any percent with RNG manip, Toad actually holds a world record at 255 on the vanilla version of the game.
Yeah, I think he just recently posted a 251 for the PlayStation version as well.
Well, when you hold one record, you gotta hold them all.
I think he also got the any percent Japanese version record by like 3 seconds the other day.
The stair manipulation one?
No, the 7 hour one.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
At 246. All right. Thanks, Don. So yeah, Zarby is getting roughed up a little bit here.
At this point, you have to question whether or not your party is high enough level for this, or if you need to go do a little bit of leveling, or maybe dig out the last ribbons. They actually recently separated the NES version of Final Fantasy to its own category. This is actually the correct page for it. Now Zarby's going to opt to do a grind, which is definitely not a bad idea.
But I think he's running around in circles in an area that is all free tiles. So
Yeah, that room is definitely not free tiles.
So right now we've got a bit of a grind going on for both players, and it seems like they recognize that this is a pretty good spot to do that. Falconic opting for the gas dragons while Zarby's going for the purple worms. And in most situations, I would like the decision that Falconic's making, but Zarby is also on a floor that doesn't have bad men, and that is not a very efficient fight to get through.
Yeah, because they really are some bad men. Alright, so Falconic's gonna push forward now. Those extra levels will be much needed for those higher absorb bosses.
So Zarby's going to warp out and save what he's got in the way of experience so far. Meanwhile, Falconic's got 600 HP on the night, so he's in a lot better shape. 374 on the red mage and 376 on the white mage. So with higher HP totals, that nuke is still going to be pretty scary, but isn't automatically a death sentence.
Definitely with the levels, they're also going to get higher magic resist, so a much lower chance of nuke rolling a max roll. Actually, upgrading the black belt wouldn't have been a noticeable difference for him, except for the fact that the black belt loses magic defense on per level when you class change the master, but he doesn't get any extra hits or damage.
Also, Lich has Swirl as well. That is not a pleasant set of skills there, but Falconic gets it through, no problem.
Usually toilet water tastes pretty bad.
Yeah, the old skeleton swirly. I was gonna say, we just saw like 5 Agamas and only one of them used Thunder. What is this?
That's what we like to call RNG at its finest.
So
I feel like Zarby had the worst half of the RNG this seed.
round 2 for Falconic, seemingly going all right, although these Agamas are pretty nasty.
Zarby's gonna make his second descent into Temple of Fiends. Level 21 and 22. It's not bad. Could have used an extra level on that black belt just to get him the extra damage. It's not the kind of first fight you want to see walking into the TOFR, is an ambush from 2 worms. Well, looks like Falconic switched over to the Vorpal Blade instead of the defense sword. It's actually a pretty good idea, because these Fiends seem to have high absorb, so those crits are going to make it a lot nicer.
Yeah, you do lose an extra hit in the exchange, but you do gain a lot more. So between Vorpal and Defense Sword, there really is no comparison. Between it's just when you get into Excal and Masmium, that's when the decision becomes harder to make.
I think Excal and Masmium would definitely have my vote over the Vorpal in this kind of scenario.
Yeah, I think with the stats being the way they are in the Swiss round, I agree with you. Definitely for higher percentages, though, the Vorpal deserves more consideration. When you get particularly Chaos and Tiamat rolling high absorb, it is sometimes the Vorpal is the only way to efficiently get through their armor.
So this formation that we're looking at now, 2 Sea Trolls, 6 Lobster, is actually an unrunnable, which none of our runners saw that before, and Lobsters weren't unrunnable in the Sea Shrine. So, pretty rude now that he has to deal with 6 cremates, but nothing an old handy-dandy nuke won't take care of.
And speaking of nuke, here's Zarby at the Lich fight.
Let's see if he avoids it. No! Oh. Black Mage taking a dirt nap.
And I can't really tell, but is that the Flame Sword that Zarby's running right now?
Yes.
So that is not particularly good for finishing the game off. In fact,
Which, strangely enough, he actually has an ice sword in his possession.
yeah, even Ice Sword though, it feels like Sun Sword is kind of the bare minimum that you need to get through, or defense. Otherwise, you're in pretty rough shape. It requires a couple of buffs to even get to the strength of an Excal or a Masmu.
With Power Bunk, I mean, you can make any weapon feel significant. Oh, that's not an ambush you want to see.
Especially for Zarby with only one ribbon, and that's going to knock down the black belt.
That's essentially going to be a reset there. That's unfortunate luck.
Time for Kraken 2. Lead off Ice 3, a lot better outcome.
Question from Czar. Who rolled this? Wasn't me. I was stuck in traffic.
It was me. Sorry.
Oh. Well, you're grounded.
I mean, I had to do my best. It would have been a shame if we didn't get anything close to Ice Blue Productions when you were on commentary. Yeah, and that Inferno just is brutal if you do not have elemental protection. Unresisted, that can do up to 350. It's almost as bad as a nuke.
Zarby gonna do a little bit more of a grind. Force class is black belt. The seed itself wasn't trolling, it was just item placements put you in go mode pretty early, so they didn't have time to take encounters to level up. Yeah, this Temple of Fiends is not pleasant at all. He's opting not to defense sword against T2. And that ribbon protects him from the slow 2, so we can get that fast charge off. And he's just going to go straight for the damage phase.
And with the Vorpal Sword, that is more likely to work than in other situations.
Yeah, those crits will definitely eat through Tiamat Absorb Wall.
Zarby electing to do some more leveling rather than going and getting equipment. Now, if you were in Zarby's shoes and you took the first wipe, would you be tempted to do a solo black belt grind instead of the party grind that he's doing right now?
Question in chat, what's unique about the Vorpal? Yes, Vorpal has, with the weapon fixes on, a 70% crit chance. So you have a much higher chance of hitting through high absorb and doing a lot of damage, especially after you power bonk a couple of times. And to answer your question, Edge, I would say probably a grind to at least 30 what the black belt would do. To that, I would go check another dungeon for equipment, because you definitely want to look for those ribbons.
Yeah, it's so that would be kind of the trade-off is, do I do the 32 black belt grind and try to close out fights in one shot, or do I go look for more equipment?
So we have our first look at Chaos. That's a nice nuke roll, 390, 10 away from max.
Yeah, so Falconic's getting some pretty good damage in, and Chaos with his 2000 HP should be going down pretty soon. throws out the heal 2 there to top off the HP.
And that's it.
Yeah, not necessary. Vorpal cuts down Chaos, so
That's GG to Falconix. He's our winner.
yeah, SRL time of 2:16:14, and we'll see if we can get him in for a interview.
So we're joined by Falconix. GG, sir. Good race.
GG.
Thank you. I'm gonna go fall up in a corner and cry now.
It's, well, you'll have a couple of nukes to keep you warm in that corner.
Nukes and fades were really what I was relying on. That saved my butt.
Yeah, it seemed like the enemies were also reliant on that. We saw nuclear from Warmach and a couple nukes from the enemies in Temple of Fiends. So pretty rough overall. When you were after your first run and you did some leveling, what was your level target?
I was trying to get up at pop to a level where I could get, I think it was 16 or so I can get warp on the red mage, and that's a little bit of my inexperience, not realizing that that was a red wizard only spell. But levels are never going to hurt. Earlier in the run, I was in the Volcano, and Argoyles kind of had their way with me, and I got tired of that. There was a couple retaliation nukes that I sent their way when I had the chance, just because I didn't want to get into that stun lock again.
Yeah, we were actually commenting about the PTSD you had to be experiencing from those Argoyle encounters.
Yeah, I'd say so. It seemed like a lot of enemies were unrunnable, or my guys would just refuse to run and stun touch. So it was rough. I like the early floater, but everything else, ugh.
So what was your thoughts on seeing that early canoe without a bridge?
I've been getting that a lot in the practice. Canoe seems to be one of the more common things you're going to get right at the beginning there. So that's part of my routing I've been getting into. I made a couple routing mistakes for sure, but we'll clean them up. We'll get better. Early airship's never a bad thing to see.
Yeah, like when we saw the no save items with early canoe, that was kind of worrisome on our end. You actually didn't see something that Zarby saw in the beginning, which caused him to have to reset a couple of times on his way to Elfland. That being Gerwolves with Cremate.
Ooh. No, I don't think I did. How was his party set up?
He actually didn't Dan anybody. He's actually running a 4-man. He has a black belt, fighter, white mage, black mage. So your traditional.
Yeah, normally I wouldn't Dan a black belt like that, but with these flags, I think it just makes more sense to roll with 3, and at 150%, you really don't need the black belt, though that first run through 2 FR, it could have helped for sure.
Another big decider. You actually dug out Ice Cave with the tail, and found the double ribbon. He never went to Ice Cave.
Oh, did he get ribbon? I think it was in Mirage?
Yes, he got the ribbon in Mirage, but he never found anything. He never got the tail, so his best weapon currently, he's using a flame sword.
Flame sword's not the greatest. Power Gaunt or Power Bonk would take care of that. We've seen worse, but yeah, TOFR, those 3 ribbons was the difference between making it or not, so hopefully he doesn't have too rough a time in there.
Yeah, especially with the amount of Agamos you encounter and them having first turn Thunder, essentially. Really has been his bane, really.
I think this run, more than anything, just proves I need to get better at the encounter manipulation. I felt like I was fighting every 2 or 3 steps. It was always unrunnable.
There were some pretty nasty overworld encounters, and just being able to throw those out can cut a lot of time down on the run.
Oh, there's another ambush from the Agamas with Thunder and Brack.
Yeah, and when it's not resisted, it's just, that's it. It's over.
Such an unfortunate thing to see.
I don't know that I would have survived carry 2 without all 3 ribbons. Her floor, anyways.
I don't think we're too excited to see the unrunnable 6 lobster 2 sea troll encounter as well. 1 ribbon is really bad to attempt to do that with.
You said he didn't get the tail?
No, he never set foot in Ice Cave.
I honestly was preparing for that Life 2 to come into effect. I picked that up as a safety and fortunately never had to use it, but it's because my white mage got punched in the face really hard.
Yeah, it was like a 491 hit. Yeah, it was pretty brutal, if you ask me.
Yeah, my biggest hurdle was just getting past Kraken too. I felt like Tiamat, the first go-around, I was just holding A to win. Nuclear, I think, was what he popped out after about 10 rounds, so I knew I wanted to burn him as quickly as possible. And Chaos just ended up being a paper target.
Yeah, notice that you switched to the Vorpal Sword afterwards and had a little bit better success. Was that just in reaction to kind of the absorb rating you saw the last 2 Fiends?
It partly that, and the other part was that somewhere in a deep dark corner I heard Zar screaming, "Equip the Vorpal, you idiot." Especially after I saw Tiamat, he landed that slow too that I wasn't expecting, and that upset me to say the least. So the Vorpal definitely saved the day this time.
Shoutouts to Shadow Czar for giving you the strength to equip the Vorpal Blade.
Was Mazza ever found?
No.
No, never found Masmune or Adamant, so...
if you want to go check the vanilla Masmune, we'd appreciate it.
I'm gonna light this seat on fire and never come back to it.
No, definitely don't blame me for that one.
How's Zarby looking? Or is he out?
He is on the water floor currently.
He's on the water floor, but down to only 2 party members, and I don't think he has the white shirt either, so stacking up evasion's going to be...
He does. He picked up because the white shirt and the power bonk were right next to each other.
Oh, okay.
I think. No, I'm sorry, it was not. Opal armor and the power bonk were next to each other. Oh, he gets that hero run off, leaving his fighter with 40 health. Oh, he's playing with fire here. No defense stacks, and he's going straight into power bonks and punches.
Oh wow, he kept the black belt alive but didn't hit 32 with him?
No. He actually entered TOFR about a minute or so before you, but he forgot the crown. So he got, body blocked by the door. But he was about level 18 when he entered TOFR.
Yeah, I don't think I was too much further ahead, and I felt that just was not high enough for this, so I just picked up a few extra levels while I was in there. And I did the key forget about 2 weeks ago, so it'll happen. Hopefully only once.
He actually didn't even have the crown when he first went. So he attempted the TOFR dive without having the crown, which came back to bite him. But he immediately went and grabbed it. So I don't think Zarby actually has the defense sword unless he has the defense sword on somebody else.
Yeah,
Oh, yikes.
and, that's going to be pretty critical for him to... Ooh, and he's out of heal potions, too, so yeah, this is not looking so good.
Yeah, I've ran very, very low on resources myself there. All those fights with the 1,000 cuts, everything just hitting with cremate and stuff, it drained me low. It looks like it's draining him low as well.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh. And yeah, Zarby's going to end up forfeiting that one. GG's to Zarby. He's actually going to opt out of interview, so we won't get to hear words from him. But that's a very unfortunate. Just so many different dives to Temple of Fiends and just getting complete awful luck with that.
Yeah, this was definitely a very, very rough Temple of Fiends for a newer runner to get through, but GG to you, Falconic, on making it through.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, GG. Congrats on your win and moving into the 1-0 bracket for the Swiss. What are your thoughts on going into next week?
Just contemplating with how I'm going to feel about ending up 1-1 because there's some tremendous competition. So hopefully I do well, but it's my first tournament. I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah, it's definitely the best way to look at it. Any words, insights, Edge, for our runner?
No, just well done on preparing for, you take the first dive through Temple of Fiends and it doesn't go well, and you did a pretty good job in doing what you needed to do to make it through on the second try. Sometimes Temple of Fiends can just be an absolute meat grinder, but you made it through, and made it through with the win, so congrats.
Thanks again. Appreciate you guys commentating and vote for tracking.
While we're talking about that, just be sure to follow the runners. Both of them put on an awesome show for us, and follow our tracker as well, because our commentary was pretty terrible. Just kidding.
And just as a note for upcoming programming, if you enjoy Final Fantasy Randomizer, there is another match tonight on the Speed Gaming Network. Zar versus Will Cleosis at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, so keep an eye out for that.
Oh, and thank you, Falconic, for saving the Tyros. You saved some frames. We appreciate it, both of us.
Oh, no problem. Team Tyro. Tyros are friends.
That's what we like to hear. With that, I think we're going to wrap things up. GG's to our runner. Thank you for the race, and congrats on your win. Hope everything goes pretty well next week for you.
We'll see. Thanks a lot.